presentation today. My name is Betsy LeBlanc. I'm the CEO and President of the Fountain Hills Chamber of Commerce. We are so honored to collaborate with the United States Chamber of Commerce to partner in this presentation for Representative David Schweikert, a local Fountain Hills resident and true advocate for our business community. Our corporate sponsor today is Salt River Project, and we thank SRP for your continued support and dedication to our business community and our local residents. We thank all of you for participating today in this virtual platform and via Facebook Live. If you have a question for Representative Schweikert, please make sure to wait until the dedicated time for Q&A. And also, please make sure that all of your microphones are muted during the presentation and that you're ready to unmute if it's your time to speak. If you're watching live through Facebook and would like to participate in the Q&A, you will need to log in to the Zoom platform in order to participate. We are not taking any questions on Facebook. It's truly just a viewing platform today. I'd like to start by introducing Robert Kogan. Is it Kogan, Robert?
It is.
From SRP. And again, we thank you so much. Robert Kogan is the Senior Manager of Federal Affairs for Salt River Project, where he manages a number of key policy issues of importance to SRP, including tax and finance policy, natural resources issues, as well as SRP's portfolio. Prior to SRP, Robert spent years on Capitol Hill, most recently serving as Chief of Staff to former House Budget Committee Chairwoman and Ways and Means Committee member, Anna Black. Earlier in his career, Robert worked as a policy advisor for a current senator, 2 congressmen, and a senior policy advisor and tax liaison for the House Budget Committee. Thank you so much, SRP. Thank you so much, Robert Kogan. Over to you.
Great. Thanks a lot, Betsy, and good morning to all of you joining us today. As Betsy mentioned, I'm Robert Kogan, Senior Manager of Federal Affairs for SRP, and on behalf of SRP, we are pleased to be today's presenting sponsor. A big thank you to the Fountain Hills Chamber of Commerce, as well as the U.S. Chamber for hosting this virtual Spirit of Enterprise presentation. I have to tell you that as a former tax aide to a House Ways and Means Committee member, it's very exciting to be part of this event, honoring a congressman who not only knows the ins and outs of the U.S. tax code, but a man who always has the most recent copy of the Joint Committee on Taxation report handy for a reading program. Congressman Schweikert's experience in running a small business, as well as serving in the state legislature, and as a treasurer of Maricopa County, serve as a rare combination of qualifications that make him a huge asset to the Arizona congressional delegation. So, on behalf of SRP, thank you, Congressman Schweikert, for your hard work and willingness to always listen to ideas and offer solutions. With that, it is my pleasure to introduce Jennings Zingel, Executive Director of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce's Western Regional Office. That office is responsible for legislative and political grassroots activities in California, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, and Hawaii, all in support of the Chamber's national public policy goals. Before joining the U.S. Chamber staff in 2013, Jennings worked in Washington, D.C., at the U.S. Association of Former Members of Congress, as well as at the public affairs firm Mercury, Clark, and Weinstein. Prior to that, Jennings worked in the California State Assembly and managed several successful congressional and state legislative campaigns. Welcome, Jennings.
Great. Thanks, Robert. Thanks for that introduction. And thank you, Betsy, and the Fountain Hills Chamber for having me and for putting this together. Always a great opportunity to be able to recognize members of Congress that are such strong supporters of the business community. Of course, we wish that we could do it in person, and this is something that we would usually do in a normal year. We would do the Spirit of Enterprise Award presentation for Congressman Schweikert in person. He's somebody that's grown very accustomed to these presentations because I believe that he's earned this award just about every year he's been in Congress. And as you all know, and as you stated, Robert, I mean, he's been a very strong, consistent, long-standing supporter of the business community, somebody that understands business issues, obviously has very high acumen for tax and financial issues as well. And so we appreciate his support really across the board on so many different issues that have come before him over the course of his career. But in 2019, and that's why we're here, to presenting the award for his 2019 voting record, he had once again a stellar voting record. It was actually the most pro-business voting voting record of the entire Arizona congressional delegation. His lifetime score has been outstanding, as I mentioned. That's why he's earned this award every single year that he's been there. But then also, we made some tweaks to our 2019 scorecard. And instead of just looking at the votes that come to the floor, usually this is based off of our legislative scorecard. It looks at about 15 or 16 votes that come to the House floor. And we give the award to members that vote at least 70% of the time in alignment with the U.S. Chamber on those issues. In 2019, we changed it a little bit to include two new sections. One was legislative leadership, and the other is bipartisanship. Each of those sections comprise 10% of your total score, so 80% of your score is based off of your actual voting record on those issues that reach the House floor. And I'm happy to say on legislative leadership, which that's what we mean by that is we're looking at really good bills that members are co-sponsoring. Even if they don't make it to the floor, they get credit for that. And really bad bills that members stay off of, even if they don't make it to the floor, they get credit for that. Congressman Schweikert had a great score in legislative leadership, one of the highest, once again, in the Arizona delegation. And then bipartisanship. What we mean by that is we're looking at bills that members co-sponsor that were authored by a member of the opposite party. And Congressman Schweikert had around an 80% score on bipartisanship, which is one of the highest scores in the Arizona delegation on that. So legislative leadership was great, bipartisanship was great. His actual score on the votes that came before him on the House floor, also great. So we appreciate his strong support in 2019. Really quickly, just because 2019 feels like it was ages ago, given everything that's happened in the last several months, I just want to go over some of the big issues that did come up in 2019, because not everything in D.C. is revolved around coronavirus, as that seems to have been the case, obviously, of late. But in 2019, we had the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. Obviously, big deal to open up, trade avenues to Canada and Mexico, and particularly Mexico, which is a big deal for the state of Arizona. You voted in support of that. You voted in support of repealing the Cadillac tax, the medical device tax, the health insurance tax. Three of the most onerous taxes that were part of the ACA. Big deal for business. Voted in support of the Secure Act, which allows for small businesses to be able to provide affordable retirement plans for their employees. Another big deal that happened at the end of 2019. And then there were, quite frankly, a lot of really bad bills that came up in 2019 that he voted against that were great, that really kind of protected the business community. So you look at some of the regulatory issues that came up, over-regulation of the internet, for example, came up in 2019, he voted against that. Bans on arbitration agreements, which would force class action lawsuits on businesses. He voted against that legislation as well, which is a great thing, which, usually those kind of issues don't help businesses, they don't help employees, they don't help consumers. So we understood that the business argument to be made against that bill, and so many others. There were really good things that happened in 2019, he was great on, and really bad things that came up in 2019. He was with us in protecting the business community from some of those assaults. So I really appreciate Congressman Schweikert's longstanding support of the business community, and so that's why I'm happy to be here today and present him, virtually. I have it here, so I'll do a little display. Happy to present him with our Spirit of Enterprise Award. So thank you, Congressman. And I believe I'll pass it over to the Congressman if he is on.
Yes, he is on.
I've been taking myself off camera because we adopted a large coonhound for my little girl, and the coonhound is fascinated by the laptop computer we're doing this on. So I thought it would all scare you to see its ginormous tongue and nose while looking into the camera. Who here is desperate to have no more Zoom meetings? We did one with the bankers a couple months ago, and they're all laughing, and only to find out my little girl had run through the back of the screen in a very immodest state of dress. So that's why now I'm sitting against the wall, so no little girls can run behind me unclothed. But from a actually very serious standpoint, for all of us in the small business world, the policy world, we have a really interesting year about the vote. And I would make an argument that the philosophy that we engage in as the small business and the local business community is going to decide how many people are going to be able to retire. What a school financing is going to look like, too. everything is going to be basically riding on our shoulders. When we get the policy right to help businesses get going again, particularly those in hospitality and tourism and those, because we need both the tax revenues, we need the employment, we need people to get back on their career path. So, I think if there's ever a time in modern history where local chambers, the state chambers, the national chambers have to be almost maniacally fixated on what creates economic growth. Because I believe growth is more because it gives everyone a chance to chase the American dream. But now it's more than just moral, it's absolutely necessary. We need the economic expansion to just sort of get our lives back to normality. And a lot of decisions are going to be made, maybe even in the lame duck Congress, but early on next year, with whoever president is, whoever's controlling the House and Senate. And it could go very dark, or we could all be very optimistic. So let's keep our fingers crossed and force everyone to know to get out and vote. As long as you're voting the right way. Because this is one of those inflection moments in life where we got to get this right. So thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Representative Schweikert. We are just so proud to have you as a local resident and a true advocate for our local business community. And from the Fountain Hills Chamber of Commerce, we truly appreciate you. We had scheduled in a Q&A session. Are you still open to that?
Yes, we have a few minutes, and then I get to give you the exciting part of running for Congress. Walk to the other room and go back to baking some money.
Right. Well, I don't know. We have a small platform on Zoom right now, but we do have people watching via Facebook Live. So it might be one of those instances where we don't have any Q&A, any questions right now, and we might get them later.
Well,
but
looking at some of the folks on the call, I think about half of you have my personal cell number and are not hesitant to call me. So.
Right, absolutely. Well, I, like Jennings, wish we could have done this in person, but I just want to thank you all for participating in today's award presentation. Thank you to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce for your collaboration and partnership. Thank you to SRP Salt River Project for your support. Huge congratulations to Representative David Schweikert for your well-deserved award. And like I said, true advocate for our local business, a resident of our town. We will continue to say that over and over proudly. We appreciate you and thank all that you do. And I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching.